stack.
We have a wall of Star Wars figures here, and Paul's been definitely sharking up. There's been some deals on these lately. That's why we've got so many.
Yeah, let me tell you what's happened here. Obviously, I think you guys know what this is. These are the action figures, the Elite Series figures from the Disney store. And I guess because they're getting ready, as the new film gets closer, they're trying to blow out their old stock.
Wrapping up for new inventory for the new feature.
Exactly. So, whereas these started at $33 a piece, $33.95 a piece, starting around mid-May, they came on special. 2 for 1, right? 2 for 1?
2 for 1, yeah.
And then they came down even lower. So I bought a couple of 2 for 1. Then they came down lower. I think they came down about $14 a piece a couple weeks later. And then finally, when we went there, what was it, 2 weeks ago? $7.99 a piece.
Wow, you think you couldn't undergo it under $10? They did, yeah.
Oh, exactly. Wow. So basically, Disney's getting rid of the old stock at the Disney store. That's the only place you can get them. And so I don't know if they're doing that in the Americas, but in Canada, that's what they've been doing. So these are just a few that I've purchased lately. I've actually purchased more. And I mean, it's $7.99 a piece. You can't go wrong. And they're beautiful, very highly detailed die-cast metal figures, only available through the Disney store, and I absolutely love them.
They're great. I mean, if you're into them, you cannot go wrong.
And those aren't the only deals that are coming down the line as well. I picked this up at Toys R Us about a month and a half ago. Now again, you guys probably know what this is, the Legacy Series 40th Anniversary Star Wars Darth Vader. This is the showpiece, the one that comes with the stand. This is a replica of the 1970s early bird Kenner promotion that they put on. Because if you know anything about Star Wars, in '77, Kenner got caught totally off guard when Star Wars first came out. So this is kind of a replica of the original early bird setup that they were selling to kids back in the day. And the idea was to trade in coupons from this set for your favorite action figures as they came out in '77, because they just couldn't keep up with demand. So anyways, this piece was $77 originally. It was just at Toys R Us the other day, and it's down to $40. So they're blowing out these as well. They're blowing out the Legacy Series, and more new figures are coming down the line. So there's really a lot of deals to be had right now if you're a Star Wars fan. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that quickly before we get into our comic books. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm running out of places to keep all this stuff. How about you, Mike? You got any Elite Series action figures?
I don't, but now that the prices are right, holy coat!
From $33,
I'm gonna make the drive up and check that out and see what they got left.
$7.99. They're all in the blowout bin, and for a regular series, like a regular run-of-the-mill action figure, you're paying $12 to $13.
Like that looked great right next to my C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah.
Just as it stands, it's the right dimensions and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, Elite Series are the best. I mean, they're for this type of figure, they're one of the best you can get. So
they're very close to artifacts.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't quite go, but they're really highly detailed, very, very accurate figures, and die-cast metal, so they will last forever. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get the weekend rolling, and we should say before we head over to the studio and shoot some episodes, we wish Canada 150th birthday. It's birthday tomorrow, 150 years. We're shooting this on the Canada Day long weekend. Hooray for Canada.
Hooray for Canada, but it's like probably going to be a week and a half after the Canada's birthday before I finally get it published. But yeah, anyway, tomorrow, as of when we're shooting this, is the birthday of Canada. So let's not waste any more time.
Yeah.
Let's go over there and let's go get set up.
Hoi hoi.
Okay, so let's rock and roll. We're going to get things started like we've been doing recently with a newer book for our younger viewers. Well, not necessarily for our younger viewers, but a cool new book that's not going to cost you a lot of money. And this is what? This is Gotham City Sirens #1, right, Jose?
Yeah, from August of 2009. Okay, so not necessarily a new book, but a newer book, let's say. So, why this book? Gotham City Sirens #1 is definitely the new breakout comic. But then again, anyone who's a Harley Quinn collector and fan knows that this stuff has been hot without the added fuel of a movie announcement. Yes, as everyone knows, Margot Robbie will star and surprisingly produce and rumors are flying that Megan Fox might play Poison Ivy, but nothing's been confirmed when it comes to that. Comic sites are starting to do the who should play Catwoman bit now that production of the movie's been confirmed. And I'm personally thinking Felicity Jones for either Poison Ivy or Catwoman, but leaning more towards Catwoman for that call.
Yeah.
Perhaps Olivia Wilde? She could look like an amazing Catwoman. She can surely act.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so director and writer of Suicide Squad David Ayer will be teaming up with Margot Robbie again for the project. Not much really to report yet besides speculation concerning the movie. Now, speaking of speculation, of course I don't need to tell you, comic speculators are already jumped all over this book big time, yes. And what can we say about it? It's not surprising. So, what can we do? If you've got it, it might be a good time to sling it out into the market and after the hype fizzles or the movie comes out. But if you can snag cheap raw copies that will come back high grade 9.6s or 9.8s after getting them graded, I think you know what to do.
Okay, so you think it's worth actually getting this slabbed?
If you think you've got a 9.6 or a 9.8, yes, definitely. So let's break it down. Gotham City Sirens #1 had an estimated print run of around 52,419 copies. So it isn't terribly high or low. There is the 1 in 25 variant cover by J.G. Jones. Now this variant should be around 2,000 estimated copies, and I have to admit, it's a beautifully done and striking cover. The J.G. Jones variant has hit the $500 mark for CGC 9.8s already. 9.8s for this book are currently dropping for about $1.25, $1.50 US.
Yeah.
And up, going up.
$1. Wow.
Yeah, I bought this at the comic book show. Now, I got it from a dealer who was, I guess, motivated. He had a few copies, at least 2 or 3, and they all looked very high grade.
Yeah.
So some dealers, maybe, like I said, back in the day, they bought a few copies, 5 or 10 to sit on, or maybe that they recently acquired for no money. He had $60, and I gave him the old. I never pay over $50 for a modern book, no matter what that book is.
Yeah.
And he managed to drop to $10 and give it to me for $50 Canadian.
That's my rule.
Can't go wrong. I saw it priced at $100, $125. So I mean, I paid up, but I mean, I didn't go above my limit, which
Sure.
is what the main objective was there.
For sure, for sure. Nice book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
No problem. So, continue our theme of showcasing more modern books. Paul is going to continue with that and showcase some neat pickups that are modern books in the last little bit. What do you got here?
Okay, the only reason I'm showing this is these are 3 cool pickups this week that I went over to a friend of mine's store. It's called Planet Hobby, and that's
Yeah.
in Mississauga.
That's Phil's store,
Phil's
yeah.
store, yeah. And we don't get to show a lot of footage or talk about his store very much, but he has a really, really cool store. Not a massive store, maybe it's 1,000 square feet total. Great selection of vintage books.
And he's been around for a while. Remember, he basically, soon after graduating from high school, he started up his dad he took it over kind of time. And for guys back in the know, it used to be called the Grey Legion.
Grey Region, then
Grey
Grey
Legion.
Legion.
Yeah.
And,
So, yeah, it has a history. So they've been in business about 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
I would think. So,
Guy's
yeah.
got 30 to 40 years in the comic book industry. Runs a great store, some great new and vintage books. Also, a lot of Bandai models. The Bandai models are all the rage. The Japanese models, and he has a lot of action figures, a lot of statues. So definitely a store. If you're in the Mississauga area, you definitely want to check out. And thrown on the floor was a dollar bin. And he's got all kinds of really cool books. It's not just crap in this dollar bin. And I picked up a couple while I'm there. The first one you see here is
Obi-Wan and Anakin.
number 3. Mike, you want to flip that?
Not too great a cover. I like this a lot better.
And that's, again, number 4. They're near mint copies. Like I said, I don't collect all the new Star Wars series that are coming out because there's too many of them, but at $1 a piece.
$1, why
Well,
not,
what can you do? And you might as well go to the third one, my favorite.
Oh,
She.
yeah, that is a nice cover. You know who he's channeling? If you guys remember from Playboy, Patrick Nagel, he
Yeah.
had those girls that from like Duran Duran, remember? The Run cover?
Exactly.
He had that style.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy obviously took that on board. And
It's Tucci art, and I just
Yeah.
love the artist. I actually met him a couple of years ago at a comic convention and got him to sign some limited edition prints, which I'm going to show at some point.
Oh,
His
very
artwork
nice.
is phenomenal. It's different. It doesn't look like anyone else. And when you can get the She books for $1 a piece in perfect condition, like this is like a very fine to almost like a near mint for a buck.
beautiful cover. But he's totally, I say, it's Tucci riffing Nagel, Patrick Nagel.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so Paul, in the editing, you could probably show a couple of the Nagel goals, including the famous Rio cover
Rio
for Duran
cover.
Duran.
I think I will.
1982,
And,
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but great. I love this the best. You got this for $1. That's a score.
Yeah.
That's a keeper. Wow.
And another thing I was going to mention, you know, some of those DC black and white stashes we picked up recently. I think we picked a Harley Quinn a while ago.
Yeah.
Now, what did we pay for that? I think $80 or $90. Isn't that
Something
right?
like that, within the $80 to $90
He's
range.
got a massive sale on right now at Planet Hobby. That he's selling them for $45 a piece.
Oh,
Thank you
wow.
for that tip.
Blowing out his old stock.
That's 50% off about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
And he doesn't
Not
like to
on
sit
all
on
this
anything
stuff.
for more than a year.
He doesn't sit on shit. So I mean, I can't. He's got some fantastic deals there. So I can't say it enough. If you're in
Oh.
the area, go check him out.
Shout out from the dudes, man. Hoy, Phil.
Planet Hobby. Okay, that's enough of that stuff. Let's go on to the next segment here. And next we got up Eagle-Eyed Oog with a real nice copy of Lois Lane, Superman's Girlfriend. What's that, number 91?
Yeah, man.
From the Toronto Comic Book Show.
Toronto Comic Book Show, April '69.
Wow, he's
This
looking.
had a little sign on it that said Neil Adams cover, and yes, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the colors pop. It's brilliant. Smooth lines. I mean, I think this show was more or less about cover appeal, and you're going to see that later on in the show for sure.
Well, yeah, think about it. Like 5 years ago, if you'd have told me, like, are you going to be picking up some Lois Lane books? I would have said, Lois Lane, really? Not necessarily, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, my eyes have been opened. There's a lot of cover appeal in that run, including a fair bit of bondage, which we'll be talking up in an upcoming segment coming in the show. But getting back to this one, a Superman looking a little bit worse for wear. Is that his future? So what's the conceit of this story? What is his future? Alternate, like, universe Superman? What's going on here?
I was talking to you about it because I had read this because it was in a full backboard and had to rebag it so it'll fit in my box, and so hey, I had it open. I'll read it.
So what's the
it's
basic premise?
definitely, Superman marries Lois Lane. They have a kid, Super Lass. Superman dies in this issue. Super Lass takes over being a superhero for the world.
But this is all in an alternate reality.
Yeah, but he doesn't really die. But because of all of this storyline,
Yeah.
I mean, Super Lass does exist in the real Earth, but that's not her first appearance. Superman dies. Obviously, it's not. So it's an alternate universe. It's considered an alternate universe online and throughout collectors all around, right? So, but it's a great fun read.
Great Neil Adams cover.
Great
Yeah.
Neil Adams cover. I mean, it just the cover alone kicked
Yeah.
it for me, and then reading it was a blast, of course.
So what do you think, grade-wise, and what did you pay for this again?
What did I pay? I stepped up a little bit, but I paid about 26 and a quarter US, and the Realms got it at 58.50. I don't know what.
50 at 50
others-
at what grade?
At an 8.5.
Yeah, wow, so you're going up on this at a BF+.
Going way up a bit. Now, I might be off a little bit just because of a little bit of a ding there, so it's hard to tell. But I mean, it's really square. The colors really pop. It's very
Sure,
glossy.
yeah.
The color, if you're gonna go, what are the page like? The pages are white to off-white.
So
Has
the
a
condition
beautiful
report is pretty
smell.
clean on it.
Pretty clean on it, man. I mean,
So no major takes, no noticeable spine.
Oh, it's
Okay,
as good
well,
as the cover looks right
You
now.
know what?
it's-
A Neil Adams strong cover with a nice high grade. That combination of factors, that's a nice pickup at that price range. Very good, Mike, man. That's
so,
good.
Yeah.
And just in case we didn't mention, most of the books we're going to be showing tonight are from the last Toronto Comic Book Show.
Yeah, this is our haulage, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch our last episode, you're going to see a lot of the footage that we shot at the Toronto Comic Book Show. But these are the actual books that me, Mike, and Jose picked up there. So I think we got some really good stuff that we're going to be showing you tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited about some of the stuff
Oh,
that's coming
this
up.
is some good stuff coming up, but like it took us an extra time to actually go and edit, and there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on in the selection and putting the show together. So sometimes it takes some time, and we'll be. But that said, all the books are Toronto Comic Book Show episode books. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and next up we got High End Jose, and he's got a really nice copy of Brave and the Bold, number 60. Wow, Jose.
Yes, I thought, I said in an earlier episode I wouldn't like Tyke to go down the ladder scale as far as grade to a grade that was lower, and in this case I mean a VG4. This is a big book, this Brave and the Bold 60 from July of 65. This, of course, is the second appearance of the Teen Titans, and it's the first official appearance of the Teen Titans. And lastly, it's the first appearance of Wonder Girl, the Donna Troy version. Now, according to DC Canon, this is the first canonical appearance of the Teen Titans as a group with Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Wonder Girl. Okay, what I mean by that is that their first appearance in Brave and the Bold issue 54, they're not named the Teen Titans. They're just, the title of the book says Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash, Brave and the Bold, number 54. This is the first book where the headline, the title is Teen Titans.
Wow.
According to the back issue market industry, it is still, of course, the second appearance of the Teen Titans, and it is noted as such. So hopefully we got that straight. However, it is still agreed that Brave and the Bold 60 is the first appearance of Wonder Girl, also known as Donna Troy, who has become a very popular character with fans. Donna Troy's version of Wonder Girl was also created by Bob Haney and Bruno Premiani. Now, an extremely important and sought-out Silver Age key issue within the DC Universe. It's no lightweight for sure. It's the second most important Teen Titans key issue so far, and it's a very tough black window pane cover to get in high grade. Now, of the early Teen Titan one, this is my favorite because most of the earlier ones, as far as the actual run itself, were split covers. I don't like split covers. It's a nice window pane. And like I said, it is very tough. It's got some moderate wear. It's got a lot of times ticks on the spine, which leads me to grade this at about a VG4.
Yep.
It's also got a 6 written in grease pencil on the top left corner there, but overall it still has a lot of eye appeal. And to put a fine point on it, my favorite part of the cover, and when you're focusing on this when you're shooting the cover, check out Wonder Girl's bug-eyed expression. It looks like she just downed 6 Red Bulls and she's like ready to fly. I mean, it is crazy.
Awesome.
It is awesome. I love that. So I mean, I'm glad I got it. Why did I get it? I was very confident. Now, they had $100 Canadian, which is a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
Since I've been picking up the early Teen Titans, I knew exactly what the Overstreet Guide was for $73 US. So at $100 Canadian, it was exactly almost right on.
Spot on.
Spot on. I still asked for a discount, and I did get a discount.
Really?
Nice.
20%, $80 Canadian paid. So right just below guide for Overstreet. I mean, I knew it's only a 4, but when you get a 4, that's basically you're forcing me to buy a price. So
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
for
a
sure,
good-looking 4,
great pickup. Good looking 4. I really like having this book.
Fantastic book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
Okay, next up, yes, wow, Detective issue 374 from April of 68.
Nice.
Wow, yeah, Hunt for a Robin Killer. This is the issue where Batman finds Robin nearly beaten to death and just goes ape bleep. A fearful creature looking out for vengeance. Nice pickup, Mike. Wow, good cover. Where'd you get this from?
Very
The
nice.
Cave?
The Cave.
Cave
baby.
time.
And what can I say about the Cave? I mean, this is only the second detective comic book that I have, I think, under 400 or whatever.
They're tough to get under 400 at a grade
this
at
price,
price. Yes.
Yeah, cover appeal is one thing,
Oh yes.
But-
Great cover by Irv Novik. Yes.
and I've also got Gaspar Saladino as mentioned there, penciled by Gil Kane.
Yeah. Gil Kane and inks by Sid Green. Yeah. The
Yeah.
story by Gardner Fox. Yes. Hunt for a Robin Killer. Great
Yeah.
cover appeal on that book, Mike. So, did you do any bundlings, or was $30 Canadian
I think I
dished out
bought
straight for?
just a few books off of him. I didn't really have enough, and then I didn't even notice the Wonder Woman he had way up there. And it's like,
Yeah, they were
damn.
way up
But I already
above eye
spent my
level.
money,
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the thing with Detective Comics, under 400, they are very pricey to get in a decent grade.
And by a decent grade, anything realistically above a 6.0 or a fine grade. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you just don't see them in a cheapy bin, or they'll be completely roached out. I wouldn't be happy with them. That's why this is the thing that goes back to 1927. I mean, this is the series that everyone wants.
Yeah.
So from 2012 to now, I've only gotten 2 because I can't punch my weight.
This is only
That's
your
it.
second Detective Comic.
That's
Under
right.
400.
Under 400. Yeah.
I've got tons of tons of Batmans, but Detective. This is the tough
I only have
series
one.
to get, man.
But what a one. I haven't featured it. 371 with a classic cover with Batgirl with a run in her tights. It's a great
I love
one to
that
have.
one. Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, he's got that one consignment, but they want big bucks, which from
Way
a
too
store.
much.
Yeah, our local comic book store, Sandy, Retro Rare. We should speak a little bit about them. I've picked up some really good books because it's recently been announced. This is kind of like a bit nerd news that Joss Whedon has talked, and it basically looks like a Batgirl feature film will be green lighted, and they're ready to go on to try to develop that. So that's great. I've recently picked up a couple of early Batgirl appearances, and for you guys looking out there, they're in 2 different titles. So for her 3rd appearance, we're not talking 1st or 2nd, which are in Detective, but for her 3rd appearance, it's in World's Finest, a book you recently picked up. World's Finest 169, if I'm correct. That's her 3rd. Her 4th appearance is in Batman 197, and her 5th appearance is in Detective 371, which I mentioned. So I recently picked up the Batman and the World's Finest. We'll feature in a future episode. Great store, Retro. It's got good stuff, and that's he had some stuff on consignment. Yeah, so
Cool.
yeah.
Anyways, that's a great book, Mike. Thanks for bringing it in.
Yeah, nice pickup. Okay, next up, oh wow, an excellent X-Men number 40. This is a Paul pickup, and if you think you've seen this book before, it's you're probably half correct, because Mike, Eagle-Eyed Mike, has featured this book, but the reprint of this book, this is the original X-Men issue number 40, where they meet Frankenstein.
You are correct, Jose. This is the original one from January 1968. Obviously, it's issue number 40. And this is not a key by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a really nice copy of an original issue. And this is my steal or my bargain of the Toronto Comic Book Show, because everything in this guy's box, I don't even know the dealer, but everything in the box was 50% off.
Are you kidding me? So you're saying you paid 25 bucks Canadian for this book?
I paid $25 Canadian for this book.
With exchange rate, like 20 bucks US, less than 20 bucks for a book that, wow, at 50 bucks would be a pretty decent price on. You really stole this book. This is a nice condition book, a 12-cent book that's about a nice higher made grade, at least a fine, very fine, possibly a VF minus for 20 bucks.
That's what I thought, around a VF minus. And in the VF minus, the realm lists us for about
100 bucks.
$100.
That's realistic, yeah.
And I got it for 25. So yeah, I was ecstatic about getting it.
Ecstatic. At 50, I would have been happy. At 25, you have to be ecstatic, yeah.
And me, like a lot of people, we love to collect the earlier X-Men, but they're so prohibitively expensive, it makes it almost impossible to do so.
In higher grades, and now when I mean higher grades, something starting usually with a 9 is going to cost you a pretty penny,
When he showed me that, I said, okay, show me exactly who's selling that. I need to see if there's any more.
And actually what I did is when I got it home, I actually read it. I read it cover to cover, and I don't do that very often. So I'm going to give you just a quick synopsis, a quick breakdown of the story, because I thought it was really cool.
Oh, spoilers?
Spoilers, yeah. I'm gonna pull a Jose here.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, Professor X figures out that, the original Mary Shelley's Frankenstein actually disappeared in the Arctic after, the novel ended.
Of course.
And it's been discovered. He was discovered. He's been frozen in a block of ice.
Wow, it reads like the lead up to the Thing.
Exactly, and these exactly.
Oh, wow,
That's exactly what I thought when I was reading. And the scientist unfreezes mother.
Yeah, of course, and then all hell breaks loose. Hey, that reminds me of a certain plot line to a certain movie, if you know what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the X-Men go up to confront it because they're concerned, and they get their butts kicked. I mean, they got their butts kicked. So anyways, the story progresses from there, and they finally, I guess, they cornered on a boat, and this epic battle ensues, and they defeat Frankenstein's monster. And it was a cool little story. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, that's about all I have to say.
Well, they put it best there on the tagline: "The X-Men meet Frankenstein." Enough said.
Enough said. Yeah. So I'm happier about this book than any other book I picked up at the I was going to say the Fan Expo, the Toronto Comic Book Show, and yeah, ecstatic. Just so happy.
Wow, like
It's a 5-bagger.
yeah, and you almost don't notice the date stamp right underneath the end there. It's ever so lightly, almost blends into the thing, so you don't even
Yeah.
notice that there's a date stamp on that
Exactly. And
at all. No.
yeah, so yeah, that's my bargoon.
Yeah, I think you did it there. All right, special guest Mike. Wow. So, continuing from the last segment, Red Raven. Yeah, it's the name of 3 separate characters, and the first one, of course, appeared in Red Raven Comics #1, cover dated to August 1940, published by Marvel predecessor Timely Comics during the golden age of comic books. This title, of course, was canceled after its premiere issue in a one and done. But here we find the first appearance of the Red Raven in the Silver Age. Nice snag.
Well, yeah, you heard me ask. I asked Paul, where'd you got that? That was the other one I pulled out.
Wow. So another 50% offer, and what was
Man, yeah.
what was the Canadian price on this?
I paid $17.25. It would be $20 Canadian, I
So
would
this
say.
was a $40 price tag, and again, it looks in very nice condition. Maybe a, what would you say, a fine plus,
Give it about a
6.5?
6.5. It's not as nice as Paul. There is some issue down at the
I
bottom.
can see the ticks here,
little
even
thing
from
here.
a few feet away.
So I
sure.
give it about a half grade lower. I mean, you know.
Still a nice book.
But damn, I mean, I've seen these as wall books, both of ours.
You know, in hindsight, I should have taken them both and left you with nothing.
Should have taken.
You should have, but you were
See,
being
I mean,
a nice guy.
I was running out of cash.
What
at the end
did
of the
not appeal from that? $20,
I was
Paul.
I was
$20.
running out of cashola. It was the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good character. Yeah, he appeared a few times in the Silver Age after this issue. He battled the Submariner in issue 26 from June of 70.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Marvel Premiere 29 from April of 76. He was shown to have been a member of the stateside superhero team, the Liberty Legion. In that capacity, he and his teammate guest starred in Marvel 2-in-1 Annual #1 from 1976, and in The Invaders issue #6 from 76. And he also appeared in flashbacks in Thor Annual #12 from 84 and Fantastic Four issue 405 from 1995. So yes, he didn't have a lot of appearances, but enough to say that a character from the Golden Age revived into the Silver Age, and this is the first appearance. This is a key book, Mike.
Very
Great
nice.
pickup.
Yeah. Can't believe I left it to you. I'm stupid.
Yes.
I was
yes.
really stupid.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Come with me on a journey of discovery you will not soon forget. Venture forth with the knowledge that once a thing is seen, it cannot be unseen. Embark on a sojourn not only of sight and sound, but of mind that will taint your childhood and alter your DNA forever. Enter, if you dare, the erotic bondage world of Superman's kinky girlfriend, Lois Lane. Yes. Let's start out with this first issue here, boys and girls. Lois Lane, issue 122 from May of 72, entitled 77 Coffins. Cover art by the great Bob Oxner,
Wow.
that ladies man. He drew the ladies fine. You recently showcased one of his covers in that adventure with Supergirl getting dragged to the wedding. Great Bob Oxner cover.
Correct.
Oh boy, dig that hogtied roommate on the floor. You almost miss the leatherette wearing Thorn bound up alongside Lois. There's so much misbehaving going on here.
That's for sure.
What I love is that the letterer gave all the thought dialogue to Lois's friend on the ground. I think her name was Melba or Selma, or does it really matter? She was clearly there to stamp the comic as token 70s liberalism.
That's for sure.
Even the letterer knew all eyes were on the floor, if you know what I mean. And I mean, this is not your big sister's Lois Lane comic book. Having said that, a count of Lois Lane cover art reveals that a full 10% of the accompanying images sometimes skirt the edges of S&M.
That's true.
Yeah, so we're going to be featuring these books here. This is my first book. It's mine. This is from The Cave, $35 paid. We're going to be featuring some new books now here from Mike.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw these, he scooped them while I was looking at another vendor, And I said, well, dang it, I'm going to try looking around for another vendor who has some, and I dug some out. So
Yeah.
there we go.
The caption to this first one, and this is issue 127, should be, "Hey Soups, if you haven't found her on the boat, maybe take a little drink in the water there, see if she's maybe in the water." And look what's coming at Lois at crotch angle like a torpedo, a big white shark in a form, a way of a bondage cover, even though she's not physically restrained. She's obviously helpless and drowning, and this big bad white shark is about to take a bite out of her unless Soups gets on the program here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
nice cover.
Yeah, girl in a bikini couldn't let it go.
Couldn't let it go for a girl in a bikini. Go ahead. Then the next one, this one, yeah, issue 129 from February of 73. What can you say? A Serpent in Paradise is the title. Okay, sure, you're being obvious. If you're going to have a story about serpents in paradise, you've got no choice than to throw a little snake bondage into the mix.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and here we have a double whammy with her friend Harumi. Her
Yeah.
name is Julie Spence, and she's having some problem in the quicksand. Of course, I picked up this book also from another dealer, which we won't mention, but I missed that there was some graffiti on my
Graffiti,
cover,
yeah.
so I was not able to show it because it was of a lewd nature. So unfortunately, I missed that one, and what can you do? You're gonna miss some.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Great cover though.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah, okay, another basic one here. Another bondage one from issue 135. Yeah, this is in my top 3 of ones I haven't picked up. Superman in chains being whipped by Lois in issue 73 is one. Lois bound spread eagle to a giant dartboard in issue 120 is another must-have. And Lois spread eagled, of course, in front of a Jeep in this issue right here. Yeah, I guess the trope, it can never go wrong. Bound to something or other.
Yeah.
It's a basic bondage cover. Great action cover. Nice pickup. And the last book is...
No, that is the last one, man.
Wow, then
Those-
that
those are-
episode flew because there were such great pickups, and here we are. If you'd have told me even a few years ago that we'd be featuring some Lois Lane books, I would have said, "What you
Yeah.
talking about, Willis?"
But yeah,
Okay.
every subject has every single title has those collectible books, even that aren't keys that you want to get, and the bondage genre is definitely very collectible.
Every dog will have its
Well,
day, and it's definitely a
they've-
collectible factor out there for
They've
these
got
books.
Peril, great action, and just to mention that these were all like higher grades. These are all like very fines, very fine pluses,
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff like that.
they're good grades.
And
yeah.
I got about $10 room on all of them, and I think so did you, right? So
Great pickups. Well, mine not so much. I did a bundle, 2 for 25 each, 2 for 50, and considering the other one was graffitied, so I kind of lost a bit on that.
Yeah.
But the other one was about a fine, very fine. It's a 52 pager, so those are harder to get in
Yeah.
higher grades because of the binding and stuff like that. But even so, a 7.0 for that kind of a book is not bad for $25.
Yeah.
And you definitely got some great cover appeal. I will be looking for some more Lois bondage covers.
and like my dealer said, great read.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Those are fantastic books. Thanks for bringing them in. Okay, so this is my next acquisition from the comic book show. It wouldn't be me if I didn't show at least one Star Wars book now and then. And this is The Force Awakens. This is the movie poster variant. I think it's a 1 in 20 variant. As you can see, the dealer was asking $20 for it. Talked them down to 15. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's probably about exactly what it's worth. But truth be told, the only reason I'm really showing this book, it's a new book, is because we have some nerd news. And I think it's some pretty interesting nerd news. If any of you guys are aware of a company called Profiles in History, they're an auction house that auctions off a lot of movie and TV show memorabilia. And they've been doing it for many, many years. I think for about 25 years now, if I'm not mistaken, probably longer. Well, last week was a massive auction, just a massive auction. And some of the items that went for sale are absolutely mind-blowing, the prices they received. So I was just going to give you an idea of some of what was put on auction a couple weeks ago at Profiles in History and the money that came in. For example, the original R2-D2. I mean, the R2-D2 used from the original Star Wars film.
Wasn't there more than one that were used in the film? Or
There
no?
were different ones, but they put pieces together from the different units and put together a full R2 unit.
So in a way, it's not per se an original
It is
R2-D2.
absolutely the original R2-D2.
No, I think it's one of the ones that
But it sounds
is
like it's
okay,
like
guys. It's absolutely the original R2D2 used, but there were more than one R2D2 used on set. So they put together a full R2D2,
Okay.
and it's sold for $2.76 million.
That's obscene.
It is the most expensive Star Wars artifact that's sold to date.
That was
Wow.
on the news. I saw that on
Yeah,
the news.
that's not the only thing. Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber,
Yeah.
$450,000.
Half a million. I can imagine the prop is nothing that impressive, really.
It's unbelievable, yeah. Darth Vader's helmet worn on set. A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie, $96,000.
Was there multiple of that? Do we know or no on that
No,
one?
I
Or was
didn't.
there
They
only one?
didn't say. I think there was only one on the original set.
Ooh, that's what you probably want for that
Yeah.
price.
Now, it wasn't all Star Wars stuff that went up for sale. For example, the helmet and armor worn by Bill Paxton in Aliens.
Oh yeah.
It went up for sale.
Oh yeah. And he's recently passed away, so probably
away.
got a boost from that. And what did it sell for?
$51,000.
Wow.
The dance floor from Saturday Night Fever. The original dance floor, you know, John Travolta
The,
dancing on that.
the light up square kind of, yeah.
24 by 16 feet. Saturday Night, $1.2 million
Yeah,
it sold for.
for the rich multimillionaire who can afford to put a dance basically room in their mansion. Of course,
Okay, yeah. And next, again, I'm not going to, there are hundreds of items. I'm just picking the ones I thought were really interesting. The Gary Canova collection of 23 spaceships from Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
$1.8 million for the models. Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting kind of personal envy over that because again, just imagine how cool they are.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's screen-used Conan the Barbarian sword.
Oh.
$192,000.
Yeah.
That's good, I think. Now, again, not all science fiction. Casablanca, producer Hal Wallace's working copy of the shooting script. $168,000. That iconic script from that iconic movie.
With probably notation because it was the writer's working production copy, so I'm sure it's got a lot of extra stuff on it.
Crossed out.
Yeah,
and all
totally.
kinds of stuff. Wow.
Again, another piece of Casablanca memorabilia. The doors from Cafe Americana, the doors of the bar.
Oh, from Casablanca. Wow, yeah.
$150,000. And Evel Knievel, the custom 1976 Harley Davidson motorcycle, $96,000.
Wow.
And the final item that I thought was really cool was Rick Moranis' dark helmet from Spaceballs, sold for $39,000.
Well, it's nice to think there's still room for satire, but those are obscenely rich prices. I'm not a class warrior and stuff like that,
Exactly.
but it's nice to think that rich people still have an outlet for to spend their disposable
Exactly,
incomes
yeah.
and just paying really top dollar for some nice stuff that it would be nice to have, but that we could never own if their prices are that price.
Exactly. These
Punching your weight.
the money
punching your weight.
the money you can get for movie memorabilia is only limited by the stupidity of the stupid rich people that are buying it.
You may
And there's-
never get that price again. You have to think that.
Well,
If you
it's
could punch your weight, you'd punch your weight.
it's anyways. The point is, memorabilia is a pretty cool collectible thing that most of us can't do. But there are certain things you can buy, that will increase in value. Original movie posters, lobby cards, small little pieces from movie sets, shooting scripts. I mean, at Retro Rare, they got all kinds of shooting scripts from movies and
So
TV.
you have to punch your weight in this life. So you're gonna have to tailor your collecting habit to the size of your disposable income you wanna. A lot of people have responsibilities, so you never want to spend above, your comfort zone. So spend within your wallet
Spend
size.
within your range, but there are ways to at least sort of get into that market. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, neat little window into the other side.
Yeah.
Trade up or wiggle in.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, is that it? Has anybody else got anything else to add? Because I think we're pretty much done here.
Yeah, been a good episode. We've had a good time. Again, another great Toronto comic book show. You almost snagged the door prize. You were off by one
By
number.
one number, and I would have won the door prize at the last.
Oh,
I don't even want to think about it.
Anyway, hoi hoi, happy collecting, and see you out there in the wild.
And if you like what you saw, guys, leave comments because we love reading them, and we will see you next time.
special guest Mike. Yes, yes.